In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do a Glamour blowout. There's a few key things to remember before you even begin. And the first, of course, detangle and that kind of thing. But you do want to make sure that the hair is about 80% dry. So you really want to towel dry it super good. You might even need to just finger dry it a little bit or even use a vent brush to get some of that excess moisture out. If you don't, what's going to happen is you're just going to be blow drying for days. So just going through with some of my new favorite products that I have recently discovered, and they're called David. I am not sponsored by David, but I do really like the products so far. I'm using the orchid oil, and I'm also using their volumizer to achieve really good volume with this blowout. And as you will see in the end, it gets pretty big. So once you work all that product through, the next step is really just to kind of map out what you want to do. So I like to take a triangle section in the front or in that fringe area. I do this with most of my blowouts anyway. That way you can kind of direct them however you want them to go. In this particular blow dry, I am just going to blow dry this forward just to get maximum lift through this section so it kind of falls, cascades over the face. I am going to tilt her towards me a little bit, and this is important to remember. When you're doing a client, you're going to find that your body is going to be positioned in lots of weird ways when you're trying to grab the hair. Please make sure that you use the client because you don't want to be burnt out by the end of all this, because this is a good arm workout as it is. So get your client to bend forward a bit. So here I'm actually going to take the hair, I'm wrapping it around the brush. So I got those roots pretty good. Then by wrapping all of the hair around the brush, I'm able to really dry all of the hair at the same time. I'm also locking the hair on the brush, and this is giving me really good tension. And the more tension that you have, you're going to end up with a tighter, much more smooth curl in the long run. So in this one, I am using my new Olivia Garden blowout brushes. And these brushes, again, I am not sponsored, but I do really love them. They have a metal base, so they actually kind of work like a curling iron. They're going to heat up. They have really nice bristles that grip the hair, and they have lots of holes in the brush. So the air is going right through the brush. So I'm able to actually dry all of the hair at the same time. So as you can see, I'm really like turning this brush to get maximum tension, and with the hair already on it, it's going to give me a nice smooth finish. So in this, I'm actually going to leave the brush in the hair. This is a really nice thing to do because what's going to happen is the brush gets heated up because it's metal. By leaving it in the hair, it's giving it an opportunity to cool off. So this is going to give me maximum curl. So now I'm going to start on the sides. Now, here's the trick for the sides. You're going to always want to go parallel to the nose. So your section should always be running in diagonal forward sections toward the face. This is going to really give you a nice finish. It's just the way that our hairline goes and everything. Instead of just taking regular horizontal sections, take those diagonal forward sections. Now the section I'm taking is quite big because I'm working on a mannequin and her hair allows me to do that. However, you may want to take this in smaller sections. And again, depending on the size brush, density of hair, that will determine how big of a section that you're going to take. The other thing I want you to notice through here, as you can see, I'm just kind of going through and getting those roots nice and dry. I'm pulling nice and tight, always working approximately a 90-degree angle or even a little bit higher to achieve maximum volume. Around the bottom, I don't like to lift it too high, so I keep it right around that 90. Sometimes I'll even go 45. But then as I go closer to the top, I'll actually do a little bit more over direction than that to give me even more volume. So you can unwrap the hair as you go if you just want to work on those ends, and then you can rewrap it again. But I do want you to just take notice when I place the blow dryer on the hair. So here I have it all wrapped up nice and tight, so I've got lots of tension. But look at the direction of the blow dryer. I'm demonstrating here that you really can't move the hair too far. I've got a really good grip on that hair. But if you look at the blow dryer, it's going right to my belly. So the blow dryer should always be pointed either to your belly or to your chest. And so this is going to ensure that you're not going to make a line right on the hair, because the heat can cause damage if it's in a focus spot for too long. So by keeping the air directed toward your body, that's not going to happen. And it's also going to ensure that the cuticle stays sealed. So if you wanted to, you could do the entire head all on these brushes. It gives an excellent finish. Olivia Garden actually has brushes designed for this technique, in which the ends actually clip on and off. It's really cool. Again, I haven't tried those and I'm not sponsored by them, but it is something I would like to give a try. My section wasn't quite dry enough. That's the other thing. Make sure it is 100% dry. Otherwise, it's going to just flop in the end. So you do want to make sure it is 100% dry before you anchor it. So again, I'm able to hold my blow dryer in the same spot because there are holes in the brush. Not all brushes are going to allow you to do that, so this one will. Now I am going to unravel this and I'm going to show you how to anchor these if you don't have enough brushes to complete an entire head of this. So as you can see, it already has a really nice curl to it, but if you really want to make sure that you get maximum curl, I'm going to use these no crease little clips here and I'm going to insert them. And that's just going to hold that in place for me until I'm done the set. The nice thing with these clips is they're no crease, which means I'm not going to get a bunch of indentations all over the head. So we're just going to keep moving along. I'm going to just get that root area nice and dry. So I'm coming in on the top and I do a little bit underneath as well, but always moving in the direction of the cuticle. So always going from root to end, because I don't want to cause any frizz. I'm really trying to get a nice smooth look. So the roots are going to hold the most moisture. So you really want to focus on those first, and then you can go through in the ends. As you can see, I have locked it, I've wrapped it, and I've got lots of tension. So I can wiggle it and I'm getting lots of tension. And this tension is what's going to create a really nice polished look. If you don't have enough tension on your brush, you're going to end up with a lot of flyaways and it's just not going to look very good when you're all finished. In this section, I'm rolling the root just a little bit. So you'll notice I'm just rotating that brush just a little bit, and that's kind of just giving me a little bit of a lock. So you can tell as I'm pulling, it's a little more challenging to pull, which is just giving me that additional tension at the root area, which is going to give me more smoothness and just more of a polish. Notice too the angle of my nozzle. So my nozzle is lengthwise across the hair, and also I want you to notice the position of my arm and my wrist. So my wrist isn't bent or contorted, and my elbow is at 90 degrees. If it starts to lift beyond 90 degrees, I have another trick I'm going to show you. So here it is. So if I'm starting to feel that I'm fatigued and my elbows are way up in the air, I'll just switch and I'll hang on to the nozzle part of the dryer. This is really going to save your shoulders in the long run. They do have some really nice blow dryers now that are designed specifically for this technique. Some of them don't even have a handle on them at all. I do like the option of both, but some of them do have a long, more narrow barrel on them, which does make them a little bit easier to maneuver when you're doing these types of techniques. So if you're doing a lot of blow dries, which blow dries are big. Blow dries are coming back. So make sure that you do have a blow dryer that's lightweight and preferably one that has that long, narrow barrel, and it is going to help support you in your blow dries. Okay, so they're all cooled off, and so I'm going to go back through and I'm going to take out all of my clips. And you can see there is lots of volume and lots of curl to be had. So this is the fun part. When I do this on a client, part of being the Glamour blow dry, all those nice curls are in there. I like to get them to tip their head upside down This is a little bit more challenging with the mannequin, but we're gonna tip her upside down. I'm gonna get a little bit of product. I'm actually gonna use the orchid oil again, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that through my hands, and then I'm just gonna rough up the hair a little bit. And then if this was an actual client, then I would get her to do the big swoop and lift her head up and get that nice glamorous result. It would be much more glamorous than this. So guys, at this point you go through, you customize it, you just get your fingers in there, go through it and get it to fall the way that you want it to fall. But this is basically it. This is your end result. Glamour Blowout. And again, you can polish it the way you want, position those curls the way that you want. But have lots of fun with this one because it is a lot of fun to do. Clients love it if they're looking for that extra volume. It's also really good prep if you're going to be doing any sort of updo because you're going to have that little bit of bend to the hair. If you're not quite ready to maneuver a round brush like this, you can check out this video up here in the corner, just on the basic blow dry and some tips and tricks with that. But in the meantime, have a great hair day.